Tell Jesus Everything by Octavius Winslow. What more shall we say? We will sum up all in a few words. Go and tell Jesus everything. You have much to disclose. Tell him all. Tell him of the world's woundings, of the saints' smitings, of the spirit's tremblings, and of the heart's anguish. Tell him your low frames, your mental despondencies, your gloomy fears, beclouded evidences, and veiled hope. Tell him your bodily infirmities, your waning health, failing vigor, progressive disease, the pain, the lassitude, the nervousness, the weary couch, the sleepless pillow, which no one knows but him. Tell him of your dread of death, how you recoil from dying, and how dark and rayless appears the body's last resting place. Tell him how all beyond it looks so dreary, starless, hopeless. Tell him you fear you do not know him, love him, believe in him. Tell him that there is not a being in the universe, none in heaven or on earth, whom you desire as himself. Tell him all the temptations, the difficulties, the hidden trials and sorrows of your path. Tell him all. There is nothing that you may not in the confidence of love, and in the simplicity of faith, tell Jesus. No temporal want, no spiritual sorrow. Casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. Ye people, pour out your heart before him. Tell him your desolateness as a widow, your friendlessness as an orphan, your sadness and solitude as one whose heart is overwhelmed within you. Go and lose yourself in the love of Jesus. Hide you in the wounds of Jesus. Wash you in the blood of Jesus. Replenish you from the fullness of Jesus, and recline upon the bosom of Jesus. Think not this is a weak, sentimental Christianity to which we are urging you. We know no other than this, no other which so appeals to the intellect as to the most sacred feelings and affections of the heart. This telling Jesus everything in our individual history, this recognition of his government in all our ways, and this reliance upon his power and love in all our circumstances, is the legitimate employment of a faith at once the sublimest exercise of the mind, as it is the loveliest and holiest impulse of the heart. Here is a faith that recedes from the objects of sense, and beholds him that is invisible, that quits the region of illusions and shadows, and entwines itself with infinite realities, that carries all the interests and relations, responsibilities and accountabilities of time into the solemn, awful, and unalterable decision of eternity. In urging you, Christian reader, to the exercise of a privilege of personal contact and close transaction with Jesus, we have but endeavored to simplify a principle in its application to all the minutiae of life, the divinest, loftiest, and sublimest that can possibly task the powers of the human soul. All the splendor of human philosophy, science, and prowess pales before the moral grandeur which gathers like a halo around a mortal man reposing at the feet of the Incarnate God, unveiling his whole soul in all the childlike confidence of a faith that grasps Jehovah. At this focal point must meet the profound philosopher and the untutored peasant, the matured man and the little child, all taught, counseled, and supplied at the feet of Jesus.